Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you would never ask. It is, the weekend, so let's do both. Saturday, August the 7th, Purple Heart Day, National Lighthouse Day, National Raspberries and Cream Day, National Play Outside Day, National Disc Golf Day, National Jamaican Patty Day, and National Mustard Day. It's also Mead Day all around the world. Sunday, the 8th of August, my little sister's birthday, by the way. Also, Global Sleep Under the Stars Night. So that's the night to go and, snooze outdoors under the stars, which we all do. We just typically have like a roof
over our heads.
in the way. National CBD Day, National Happiness Happens Day, National Frozen Custard Day. Usually that's what helps you make the happiness happen, by the way. National Dollar Day, National Spirit of 45, and National Sneak Some Zucchini Onto Your Neighbor's Porch Day.
Okay.
All of that stuff happening this weekend. And I have a guest joining me. Nicola Twilley has a new book. It's called The History and Future of Quarantine. It actually looks pretty darn fascinating.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com. New study claims that vaccinated people can carry as much virus as non-vaccinated people. So more and more people are quite confused. I happen to be one of them. Pets bring companionship and humor into our lives, but it's not always a smooth ride. In fact, a new study finds the average pet parent has 231 mini panics every year. A study of 2,000 dog and cat owners delved into the panic points. Researchers found over 4 panics per week. Turns out many of those panics revolve around their furry friends' bathroom habits. I can relate to that. Many panics include their pet having irregular movements, 47%. Their pet not eating the right amount of food, 47% there as well. Their pet going in an unusual way, like they're like, ooh, what did they eat? That's not looking good, 46%. Also making the list are incidents where people's pets eat something they shouldn't have, or not being able to find their pet in the house, like looking all over and then finding them napping somewhere. Right. We have been through all of these.
Yes, we have.
Surveys and studies and such. Brought to you by BetterCreditCards.com.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At BetterCreditCards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. BetterCreditCards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. An aggressive passenger on a Frontier Airlines flight. We've flown Frontier many times. Heidi, was this you?
We have.
This person had to be duct taped to his seat after allegedly groping some flight attendants, and assaulting another person. Cell phone footage shows the accused frisky flyer, 22-year-old Maxwell Berry, being duct taped to the seat. This was going from Philadelphia to Miami.
That's not okay.
No, it's not. Scuffled with a male flight attendant, yelled profanities, sitting in a seat. Barry ordered a couple of drinks, then asked for more before brushing his empty cup against the back side of the flight attendant. Anyway, she said, "Please don't touch me." Then he got himself in all kinds of trouble when he went to the bathroom because he spilled his booze on him, took his shirt off, and then came around the plane shirtless and he had way too much to drink is basically what happened. He got arrested, so not a good ending to that.
But I also
story.
read, on top of him being arrested, the crew had been fired.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
For
so apparently it wasn't...
I don't know what happened.
Well, for duct taping a passenger to a seat. If there would have been an accident, or like if the plane were to crash or something, and that passenger couldn't get himself in the right,
Well, he was kind of out of his right mind anyway, so I don't know.
You just can't do that.
I don't know what the answer is.
You cannot do that. They're not law enforcement. They can't detain somebody that way.
It's not a good plan. But that is what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Actor Joshua Jackson says he's against doing a Dawson Creek revival. So,
was anybody asking for this?
Apparently there is. There are a lot of fans of that show. As a matter of fact, I had a guest on the program who was talking about how he was working with Joshua Jackson, and he said, I was really excited to work with him. Also in the program, by the way, Alec Baldwin and Christian Slater, and he was like, oh, super excited to work with Joshua Jackson. I was like, really? On that list? That's who you were picking? So, I don't know. To each their own. Again, nothing against Mr. Jackson. Christian Slater's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, love Christian Slater.
Top the list for me. Rebel Wilson is also pretty cool, and she reveals she has now lost 65 pounds in an effort to have a better chance of having a child. She wants to have a baby, and she was struggling to have a child, and they said, well, maybe if you lose a little bit of weight, that'll help. So I wish her the very best.
I've always thought she was adorable
I do
no matter
too.
what.
I
think
agree
she's
completely.
so cute.
And very funny, and she seems like a nice lady. Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of PureCanaCompany.com, promo code radio. In China, major brands are seeking to replace their celebrities, like musicians and stuff like that, with animated holograms. They're going to do that so they don't create distractions with their offstage behavior. So major brands who right now have like some celebrity endorsing them, they're going to have a fake person who doesn't really exist.
Because then they can't mess up.
Yeah. So that just seems really interesting.
It's really sad, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, even now celebrities won't have jobs. It's like, it's everything. Nobody's going to have jobs in this country.
Well, that was in China. So it could be in any country, I suppose. Bill and Melinda Gates in the news. Guess why?
Why?
They finalized their divorce.
Okay.
So there you go. And here's one of the things I just want to say, because some of the most wealthy people in the world, or the wealthiest people, or the most wealthiest people, I'm pretty sure that one's wrong, but the wealthiest people, several of the couples who are financially set have recently gone through divorces. So think about this. One of the leading causes of divorce is typically financial struggles. So apparently having a bunch of money doesn't help either.
Fights about money. Arguments about money. You could argue about
too much money.
Too much
We
money
have
just
way
as
too
easily
much
as...
money. I don't know if that's ever been I don't know. And moving on to this. 3 visitors to the world's largest Titanic museum were hospitalized when an iceberg wall collapsed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's ironic.
You would not expect something like that. It happened in Tennessee, by the way, where they have one of the world's largest Titanic museums. I think it is the world's largest. And some people were injured there. DEA, drug enforcement agents, have been reportedly seizing some dough, or some cocaine rather, and they found 4 pounds of cocaine disguised as a cake.
Oh, geez.
So that's part of what they do is, when they're
just getting so sneaky with this stuff.
Hey, happy birthday to me. This is just a bag of marijuana covered with frosting. Not a good plan. That is... your scoop of the day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you pack out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Our guest this weekend is Nicola Twilley. She's got a book called Until Proven Safe, The History and Future of Quarantine. Now, this is an interesting topic. How did you decide to write this book?
Yeah, it's a funny story because I wrote this book with my husband, which, first of all, writing a book with your husband during lockdown, let me tell you. But we started researching it years before COVID-19. And, we would meet people and say, oh, this must just be a history book because quarantine is a thing of the past. And we would say, no. We're entering a new age of pandemic. Everyone, including yourself, is going to be quarantined at some point in your lifetime. And people would smile and say, that's interesting. And they didn't believe us. And then COVID-19 happened, and we had the curse of sort of having actually been write about that. And it's not as though we were some special, had some special crystal ball. Public health officials knew this was coming too. It's just that, for most people it seemed like this medieval idea, and why think about it? And we thought it was fascinating and that we needed to think about it, and here we are.
So that's cool. You've been working on this for a long time. Then we actually kind of went through this, so we know a little bit about the history. What can you tell me about your thoughts on the future of quarantine?
That's a huge question. I'm just going to say a few things because we wrote a whole book about it. But one thing that is really interesting from the history of quarantine is anything that we went through, all of us collectively alone together over the past 18 months or so, that's happened before in history. All the things that went well and all the things that went badly, all of the, the frustrations, the economic issues, the isolation and loneliness, the boredom of quarantine, that's got a history. People were writing letters from quarantine in the 1800s saying how boring it was, and they didn't have Netflix then.
Yeah.
So that's a fascinating thing. What we take from that is we need to think about how to do this better in the future, because if this is just the first major quarantine of our lifetime, let's design quarantine as an experience. In the book, we talked to a boredom expert, and she said, listen, boredom is just a sign that you're not finding what you're doing meaningful. Well, quarantine is really meaningful. You're making basically a heroic sacrifice to keep other people safe and save lives. And it just doesn't feel like that. You
were talking about how they used to share letters. Now we went through, all of the technology. In the future, technology might make it where quarantine is just kind of a regular day.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. And, this stuff is always varied by income level and class, honestly, too. So even in the past, if you were a wealthy person in quarantine, you had a big room. Some of them were so big that people wrote letters telling them they were playing tennis in their rooms, in their quarantine rooms. So, and we saw the same thing during COVID. If you were better off, well, you've got a bigger house. You're not quarantining with multiple generations of your family all under one roof, risking infecting them. You've got, better Wi-Fi, better everything. You can work from home. So that issue is real and has been there before. But to get to the question of the future, I think it's really interesting. We saw the start of this during COVID as people trying to use technology to make quarantine more precise. So you're being tracked, your movements are being tracked. Quarantine is about keeping people separate, and you can do that, the old school way by telling them to stay home or by putting them in a quarantine hospital during the Black Death in Italy, or you can do it the new school way by putting a thing on their phone that tracks where they are, and if they've been in contact with a person who is infectious, well, suddenly they find they can't, they don't have the right pass on their phone to get on the subway or to get into their office or anything like that. China experimented with this system during COVID-19. One of the interesting things about quarantine is a lot of times the things that get introduced during a pandemic harden into the new reality. So the very first, the ancestors of the passport, the thing we all use to travel today, they were health passports introduced during the Black Death so people could avoid quarantine. So these things do sort of stick, and that's one of the things we look at in the book is how some of these digital things that people are experimenting with right now might reshape quarantine in the future.
Again, the book is called Until Proven Safe, The History and Future of Quarantine. It's available now. I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Canada once heavily targeted LGBTQ individuals. So during the Cold War era, Canada spent thousands of dollars on a thing called a fruit machine. It's a weird name now, but back then that made sense. The device supposedly was able to identify gay men and lesbian women by monitoring them as they were shown pornographic images with homosexual content.
Wow.
This led to wrongful persecution of many Canadian citizens. In 2017, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau apologized for the mistreatment of these people. So I have never heard of that before. Have you?
I've never heard of that.
That is
no.
very bizarre. It is, I don't know if it's a fun fact. It's an interesting fact, but now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, RadioTravelGroup.com presents a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline France. French President Emmanuel Macron has visited French Polynesia Islands and got completely covered in shell necklaces and traditional leis by officials who greeted him.
That's lovely.
That's pretty cool. So would that be kind of neat when you go somewhere? I've never been like to a place where they do that, but I know that's a tradition in a lot of places where you get there and people greet you putting flower necklaces and beads and whatever. We should go somewhere where they do that. That'd be kind of fun.
I would love that.
We should do that.
We should do that.
We'll
Let's go now.
Make a note here. Note to self. Take Heidi somewhere cool. This is a news headline from somewhere in this world.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Police are working to determine the cause of a tractor-trailer crash that left a home with extensive damage. The crash happened at 6 p.m. Glenn Fillmore, who lives nearby, says a family was getting ready to have dinner when they heard what he called a heck of a noise. We come running out and saw a truck slammed into the side of the house. The crash, right in the front corner, recently renovated home, crushed the siding, shattered a window. Wow. This is terrible, they say. These people just moved into the house. It's a brand new house. He said he and another neighbor ran to the truck to see who was driving. All they found were 2 dogs inside the cab.
Oh, no.
No one was inside the home at the time of the crash either. The police are still trying to figure out exactly what happened. They're looking at security camera systems. Police are investigating the crash. So I just talked to somebody who they said they left their dog in a vehicle and they left the vehicle running.
They managed to push it into gear.
Yeah. Well, this one that I talked to, the dog hit the window button, rolled the window down, and jumped out of the vehicle.
Wow.
But this dog here apparently knocked the vehicle into drive or neutral or something. And it was a tractor trailer. This is a semi. So they're lucky nobody was hurt other than just a little bang up on the house there.
Wow.
Weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by BetterResultsAdvertising.com. A man in Canada, British Columbia, Canada, is now in a bit of trouble. He didn't want to mow his lawn. He had been fined because, he had this lawn that was growing. So he decided, I'm going to take care of this. I'm going to just burn it.
Oh.
Yeah, fire was called in by a passenger on a vessel who saw the fire from the water. The home is not far from the ferry terminal. The fire was about 10 feet in diameter. It had to be extinguished by firefighters. It's the cause of the grass fire. It was undoubtedly human, cause. Mountie said the homeowner told them that instead of cutting the grass, he just decided to burn it. So the problem is there was a huge burn ban at the time because everything is so dry and they already have a bunch of wildfires going in that area. The homeowner was warned by police about the recklessness of his actions and fined $1,150. So, yeah, just mow the lawn. That'd be a lot better.
It's not that tough,
no,
people.
it's really not.
We have the same argument with our daughter.
Yeah,
it's like, just mow your lawn.
She's always saying, can I just burn it? No, she's never said that. But if she's listening, she might try it. Bad idea. It is today's moment of duh.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Heidi, are you ready for this one?
I'm ready.
South Plains, Lubbock, Texas. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? South Plains.
I will say that's a golf course.
Oh, man.
No, I got it wrong.
You got one wrong.
Ah,
You did so well,
I
though.
was doing well.
Yeah, she hadn't missed one like all month, which again isn't that many days, but you had done really, really well up until now. We'll see. Hopefully you'll get back on track soon because, it's more fun when you get it right. It really is. Because you kind of do this little dance.
You like it better when I don't.
Yeah, but then when I cheer, people get mad at me. So doing the victory lap running around the studio, they're like, yeah, you really need to calm down and be nicer to her. That is how we play. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. Comes your way courtesy of bettercreditcards.com, and I've got a story about a hero, Hero, awesome little boy, 7 years young, in England, helped rescue his neighbor who had fallen down and was trapped inside her home. He said, I felt like Spider-Man.
Oh.
Stella Thorley, age 79, was going to the restroom in the middle of the night and could not get back up on her own. Her family couldn't get through on the phone line to get an answer to the door or any of that. They tried to connect with her. The key was stuck inside the door, preventing anybody else to open it from the other side. So they were trying to help. That's when Jaden stepped in to save the day. Who's Jaden? Is he a bird? No. Is he a plane?
He's a little boy. You already told us.
Is he Spider-Man? No, but he feels like it. He's a 7-year-old. He tried to reach the key, and thanks to his super stretchy, thin arms, he was able to retrieve the key and gain entry into the home. Stella
so cute.
was rescued, and after medical attention, is now back to full health. It says, we are so grateful for Jaden. He is my little savior. That's what Stella said. Says, I think he saved my life. Says, when you're old, you can't survive on the floor very long. And I'm lucky, really lucky, it wasn't winter. Jaden suffered some cuts and bruises, and he said it really hurt a lot. But he said saving Stella made him feel like a superhero.
Oh, how cute.
So it felt amazing when they were cheering. He said, I felt a little bendy like Spider-Man. It's my favorite superhero. And he said, I knew it was an emergency, and we had to rescue Stella, so I just wanted to help like Spider-Man does. How cool is that?
That is absolutely
And there's a
adorable.
photo of these two sitting together, and this little guy looks like one heck of a nice little dude. And I don't see where he's got scratches on his arm, so hopefully that means that they're all better now. But what a cool story.
That is a pretty cool story. I love that.
I love that too. And if you ever get a chance to be a hero, step up and be a hero. I mean, you're going to feel good about it. And who knows, we might even talk about you right here on The Good News. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.